going on, friends? On today's video, we are looking at one of the hippest spots, one of the most happening areas in all of the Twin Cities and all of Minnesota, dare I say in all of the Midwest. This place is called North Loop, Minneapolis. It's also known as the Warehouse District, which, you know, kind of makes sense if you're looking behind me. It's an awesome area. I'm very excited to share it with you. How's it going, friends? It is an absolutely beautiful day here in Minneapolis, and my name is Jesse Lynch, and I run the hardest working real estate team in the game. We're called To The Twin Cities, and you can check out our website, tothetwincities.com. But this YouTube channel is all about helping you find a place to call home here in the beautiful Twin Cities of Minnesota, and that's whether you are buying a house for the first time or relocating here from a different city, state, country, planet, dimension, whatever it is. First-time home buyers and relocations, that's what we do, and that's what we do better than anybody else. So, all right, I'm not gonna cross the street. If either of those things appeal to you, then do us both a favor, subscribe to the channel, click the bell to get notified so you can see every time we put out videos just like this one, the best videos anywhere out on the internet. And while I have you, if you wouldn't mind, give the video a thumbs up, say something nice or helpful or funny or whatever in the comments. Would appreciate that so much. And as always, if you're thinking about moving here, get a hold of us. We will crush it for you. We've been doing a bunch of sort of North Loop stuff lately, and it's a lot of fun. So whether it's here or literally anywhere else in the Twin Cities, or really anywhere else in Minnesota, get a hold of us. We'll take care of you real good. So you can go to our website, tothetwincities.com. We have a contact form there that you can fill out in like 30 seconds or less, or you can shoot us an email directly to info@tothetwincities.com. They lead to the same inbox, so it's completely up to you. Today is a busy day out here on these streets. So many people walking around. That is the nature of North Loop, but there's also a Vikings game happening, so it sort of comes alive even more and is very much cosmopolitan, very social, and very happening spot. But as you can see, it's warehousey. It's called the Warehouse District as well. There's tons of great shops and restaurants. I can't wait to show you around this place. Let's go. Right now I'm basically in this really great riverside park right off the West River Parkway, which is right there, which runs all along the river basically, but just on the sort of northern and northeastern edge of downtown Minneapolis. And the fact that I'm right here, and it's as chill as it is right here, and probably a 5-minute walk or less that way, and you're in basically the heart of North Loop. You got Acme Comedy Club like right there. You have Spy House Coffee. You have the Galley in North Loop, and tons of really great restaurants right there, as well as some of the coolest sort of, you know, converted warehouse condo buildings. And then you can walk 5 minutes and you're in one of the most sort of like peaceful sections of Minneapolis. I would say, without a doubt, the most peaceful part of downtown Minneapolis. And North Loop is also known as, or sort of referred to as, the Warehouse District, which is true and also kind of a misnomer. Most of what is known as the Warehouse District is in the North Loop, or I think all of it is in the North Loop, but not all of the North Loop would be considered the Warehouse District, if that makes sense. And I have another video that I did on here, which was basically comparing North Loop to Uptown is like by special request quite a long time ago. I have since, you know, kind of figured out how I'm making these videos a little bit better, I think. And now it's more, I just want to just focus on North Loop. It's a very desirable area, a spot that people are definitely, you know, flocking to, especially if they're looking for that sort of metropolitan lifestyle where, you know, you can walk to restaurants and bars and whatever and be sort of cosmopolitan, but also you have access to just like beautiful nature, like right here in downtown. I think it's truly a special spot in the Twin Cities metro as a whole. And where I'm standing right now is basically like the northern tip of North Loop, and the sort of the river here is basically the northeastern boundary. Then the sort of southeastern boundary is Hennepin Avenue, and there's like a Whole Foods right on basically Hennepin and Washington. That's what I sort of think of as one of the corners and the edges of North Loop, the technical edge of North Loop. And then the south, you have basically the 394 and sort of how that enters downtown, that sort of cuts it off, as well as the Loring Park neighborhood, and actually more specifically the park itself. Then to the sort of southwest, you have I-94, Bryn Mawr neighborhood, Lowry Hill neighborhoods are sort of where it cuts off there. And I would say you're in central Minneapolis, which is the sort of the community. The neighborhood is North Loop. Downtown, a lot of people would call this downtown, but technically it's just adjacent to sort of the downtown central business district core, right, which is actually known as Downtown West. And so you can be in downtown, not technically, but be still sort of close enough that you could ride a bike, walk, really easily take public transportation and end up down there really easily. If you've seen the video, probably the longest video we've ever done, maybe we'll ever do, we did a best, you know, walkable neighborhoods in the Twin Cities, and like an hour and 15 long. So crazy. But North Loop definitely makes a cut. Super walkable, very metropolitan, and I don't know, just really a special spot. It's quite densely populated. About 7,000 people live in not that big of an area. It's also got some sort of tourist attractions. You have really good access to like the Target Center, really good access to, which is where the Minnesota Timberwolves play, and really good access to Target Field, which is where the Minnesota Twins play. And generally it rates like very high on niche.com for a whole bunch of different things. Ranked number 4th best place for young professionals in Minneapolis, or in the whole Twin Cities. Ranked number 12th best neighborhood to live in all of the Twin Cities, and 35th best place to live in all of Minnesota. Again, sometimes I'm like, I don't know where they come up with those numbers, but it's super legit, and I understand that it would score highly compared to a lot of places. That said, the public schools that serve North Loop are not that great. In fact, they're debatably bad or super mediocre at best. But there are private schools, and I would say a good portion of the folks who live in North Loop with kids that are, you know, of school age are going to a private school. Specifically, there's a school on Nicollet Island called De La Salle. It's a private Catholic school and has really high ratings, A+, and it's a very desirable spot, and so cool that it's on an island. But just about all the other public schools, not very good. Fair Senior High School, C+, Northeast Middle School, C, you know, Webster Elementary School, C+. So not that great. That said, colleges, There is one college in North Loop. It's called IPR. It's where your boy went, actually. And I don't know if they're still in business or if they're gone out of business or something, but I've heard wind of that, but I think I've heard that for a long time. By the way, again, I'm gonna say it again. How cool is this spot? Downtown, right there, like so close. And I'm just on this bridge over this creek, Mississippi River, right there. Trails 4 days that way. I don't know, it's so cool. That said, all of the homes that are going to be on the market in North Loop are going to be condos, fundamentally. The occasional townhome, but there's 0 single family homes currently listed, and I don't know that a single one exists anywhere. Median sale price is $425,000, which is not that bad actually, but there are a pretty wide sort of selection of condos. Most of them are going to be nice, but yeah, again, $425,000, that's condos. So it's fairly expensive to, you know, to get in, but your quality of life very high. But a lot of the condos here are very nice. They're either newer built, you know, properties, or they're really cool character-filled warehouses that have been converted to really cool condos. So that price, generally not that bad. Very high quality of life in this area, and just a really cool spot. That said, about 2/3 of the folks who live here rent the home that they live in, and only 1/3 of the people who live here own the home they live in. But it feels that way. It feels alive and moving and happening. All right, let's go for a drive. All right, right now I'm kind of in like a weird no man's land between where stuff happens in North Loop. Right over here is Gray's Provisions and Libations. It's a very cool spot. Bunch of different vendors, sort of cafeteria style. I don't know, just really interesting. One of the first to do that in Minnesota. Keg and Case is kind of another example of that. Super cool. Those seem to be popping up all around the country, but it's nice to have them here. And yeah, you know, if you watch these videos, you know, oh, by the way, Target Field right there, no big deal. Ford Center right here, as in Ford, the car company. And if you watch these videos, you know that we have a little section that I like to call For Fans Of, which is to say, if you like what you see in this neighborhood, you might want to check out some of these other neighborhoods because they maybe have similar things to offer. Think of it like a Spotify playlist based on your preferences. But before I do that, I'd just like to say that, again, if you are thinking about moving here, get a hold of us and we'll crush it for you. I say it every video, but I mean it, especially. You can go to our website, tothetwincities.com. We have a contact form there that you can fill out in like 30 seconds or less, or you can shoot us an email directly to info@tothetwincities.com. They lead to the same inbox, so it's completely up to you how you do it. We just ask that you do, so, you know, we can help you make this all happen. And maybe you end up here, maybe you end up in some suburb or some more rural town. All good, we got you. So what are some spots to consider if you like what you see here in North Loop? The first one that comes to mind is Uptown, Minneapolis. Quite a while ago, I actually did a video that compared the two, North Loop and Uptown. One of the first videos I ever did on this channel. I'm a little afraid, self-conscious to watch it because, I don't know, I didn't really know what I was doing quite yet as it pertains to these videos. But I do think probably the information in it actually probably pretty decent and still fairly accurate, even though it was maybe 2 years ago. By the way, that's the Target Field and Target Field light rail stop. There's a Caribou Coffee, Minnesota. There's a Holiday gas station, Minnesota. You know, it's very localized, sort of Minnesota pride stuff going on. So Uptown, it's probably the most walkable neighborhood in all of the Twin Cities, and kind of like the hipster capital of the Twin Cities as well. It has a lot in common, but certain differences. It's a little more single family house or duplex and a little less dense, but still very, very dense and very renter heavy as well. The next spot that I would consider would be probably Lower Town, St. Paul. Lower Town, St. Paul is basically kind of like the more residential, hipper end of downtown St. Paul. You know, there is kind of a central business district to St. Paul. That's not kind of where I'd be looking if I wanted to find this kind of lifestyle. More that Lower Town vibe, cool coffee shops and stuff. Rather than the Minnesota Twins, you have the St. Paul Saints, the sort of B League. I don't even know. I don't know enough about it. Double A, triple A baseball team. And yeah, it's smaller. It's not as hip, but has a lot of the same stuff, probably a little bit cheaper in terms of apartments, or I guess you just get more square footage potentially for a similar price. Another spot that I would consider is basically just across the Mississippi River from this North Loop area. It's kind of known as St. Anthony, Maine. It's technically, it's part Northeast, it's part St. Anthony, Maine. Just anything right across the river. I think beautiful area, has a lot in common, the sort of walkability and all that. And also St. Anthony, Maine is part of Marcy Homes as well. And then I think last spot that really comes to mind is going to be downtown East. And also I'm going to wrap in sort of the Mill District. It'll kind of pop up on different maps in different ways. Mill District and downtown East, both awesome areas. I used to live in downtown East. I absolutely loved it, but a little chiller, a little bit less kind of high end, a little bit less cosmopolitan, a little more in the path of progress, being developed, but still a really awesome place to live. So I would recommend that as well. And I would also recommend that you subscribe to the channel, click the bell to get notified so you can see when we put out these videos. We put out the best videos anywhere on the internet. We have more content, we have more B-roll, more footage of the Twin Cities than I'm pretty sure anybody. I mean, that's not a statement of fact, but I'm pretty sure it could very well be true. So do that, and if you wouldn't mind, give the video a thumbs up, say something nice in the comments, say something helpful. Right over here, Gray's Provisions, again. Maybe I'm gonna go grab there. There's a really, really good salad spot. I've been on a salad kick lately. Really good. All right, hope you've enjoyed this video. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.